What's up guys, welcome back to Fixla. So today we're going to be doing a practical section where I'll be walking you through how to actually dissect a complex UI and build something amazing out of it. Um, Designing actually is a very complex thing because you're just not battling with just trying to get exactly what the designer did, but you're also trying to make sure that it kind of adapts and works in almost all the devices that probably is going to run it. So what we'll be doing in this video is actually looking through how to break down a complex UI and build something out of it. And then for us to achieve that, we need to understand the view hierarchies, the way it works in, or probably other apps. If you're coming from native Android, you must have probably seen views like linear views, constraint layouts, which just came up as an enhancement to some of those views. We have constraint, we have relative layout, we have linear layout, and in linear layout you can actually probably do it horizontal orientation or vertical orientation. That's if you're coming from native Android. So but in Flutter, right, so everything in Flutter is about widgets. So because of that, I'm going to explain to you how you can actually build any kind of UI, no matter how complex it is, in Flutter. And what I have right before me right now is actually, as you can see, it's just a bare-bone application that will just bootstrap when you create your fresh Flutter application. It doesn't have anything in it, so it's just more of empty screen with just the counter application. So we're going to probably remove everything that we have here, and I'm going to actually walk you through what that particular information that we're going to be using actually to understand how this works. So first of all, let me remove the comments, and I'm just going to replace everything with nothing. It's kind of using regex to actually get the stuff that have comments on it. So that's just what I did. So with that done, I'm going to just play up the screen, probably reformat, and that bit done. So let me quickly walk you through what the view that we're going to be actually creating on the screen. We're going to be creating. It's kind of a wallet application. So I brought it here in Lucid so that you can actually see how this works. So this looks like card-to-card exchange, right? So they have you pay, you get, right? So the structure, as you can see right now, is you pay $11,500 and then you get 11,280 euros, right? So this is kind of like an exchange platform where maybe you are kind of remitting money from a particular currency to another currency. Now, if you can see that I've actually translated it into what I have by my right here. Everything in Flutter, like I said, is widgets. So for us to achieve this is assumed to be our main screen. But for us to achieve this very complex flow here, how do we translate everything into something that we can actually achieve, right? So like I said, everything is widgets, so these are all individual widgets. Now we are starting with this particular widget. All right, now for us to go ahead and get that done, if you look at this particular widget that has kind of a green and up and down arrow here, for us to achieve that in Flutter, there's different ways you can actually do this, but what I'm taking out here is for us to get this done the way we want it, we're going to use a stack here, because a stack enables us to actually place something on top of each other, right? Now, in that case, we're going to use a stack in this case, right? So if we use a stack down here, and then we can use other views. These views, as you can see, this particular view right here represents this one, and this is supposed to be like a row widget. So a row widget enables you to place items, side by side or left to right in a row, right? And then we have two children directly, right? So these two children is a column, which is another widget that enables you to place children top to bottom or in kind of stack. And then you have this other item here. So if you look at what we have here, I have this particular child, which is this, and then I have this column, which is now the you pay, the value, and this other one. So this, as long as it's in a column, we can be able to arrange these children this way, and this one is a child that also enables us to put probably the USD and the icon, and then this one as it is right here. So that's how you break down your view hierarchy to know how you can actually start bringing it down. So I did not, probably you can see the stack down here. So this is supposed to be our stack in this case, if we don't have any other child inside. I'll say so. I could have this guy wrapped in like this, and that would be our stack that has these other individual children. And this guy just going to represent this, which is, we're not actually interested in this. So we're interested in understanding how we can actually build out this. All right. So the first thing that we need to look at again is, once we're able to achieve one of these, it's quite easy to achieve the second one, right? Because it's just exact copy. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a kind of widget that will represent each of these cards, and then this widget can be reused so that we can actually use it in the other place, right? So just plug in the values and then plug in the type of currency probably, and then you should be able to get things done. All right. So the most important key takeaway here is that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you're coming from native Android, this will probably mean for us a linear layout for the first one here, and then that has a child of also a linear layout of orientation vertical, but this particular linear layout is going to be of orientation horizontal. The same is applicable here. Then the overall parent here is going to probably be a relative layout, because we're going to be able to put something on top of the other. All right. So without wasting much time, let's see how we can actually get that done in our app. So the first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, I already have this set up. So just go ahead and create a particular project, and you're going to find the link to the image here on the description. So you can actually use the image as a reference. And just what you're seeing on the screen is just for you to be able to understand how to break down your UI. So first of all, if you have a very complex user interface to build, first of all, you need to look at it carefully and understand how you can actually approach it, and also not just that, and also so that you don't build something that probably, if you rotate your screen, it kind of scatters and stuff, and then if someone else runs it in different device, it doesn't really give you the it doesn't adapt or kind of conforms the way you want it. So that's what we're going to the key takeaway, right? So let's quickly get into that right here. So I've gone ahead to add this file, right, just for us to have the color ready for us. So you can see, just go ahead and create constant inside our libs folder, and then add this very color. So these are the 3 colors that we have in the reference image that we're actually using, right? So like I said, if you go back to this, I've been able to pick out this color from Figma, right? So we'll quickly head back to the reference. So first of all, we're going to just start up our application and see if you can first of all be able to run that, and we're going to proceed from there. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my device. I'm going to be using iOS Simulator. Depending on the machine you are running from, so if you're actually running from either Windows machine or you are running from a different IDE than mine, it doesn't really matter. Just the most important thing is just that you follow the guideline that we're going to be using, right? So to do that, so I'm going to collapse this, probably see if I can increase the fonts here. So while the app starts, or while our emulator is started up, so let me quickly just see if I can get this editor font to be somewhat bigger. So I'm going to do this 18. That doesn't seem to be. Probably setting up the wrong one. I should use this one first because my editor is actually it's overriding the other one, so I'm going to use 18 here. Let's apply. Okay, so this is better right now. So let's quickly get into the action. Right here, let me check if the machine is started up. I'm going to probably arrange it side by side. So let me push it this way. Okay, so what we have right here, so as our application is going to get started, so first of all, let's create two widgets. All right, so these widgets are going to probably be inside our widget folder, just the way I normally do my project. I like to group stuff into where they actually belong, so that it makes it easy for people that will probably get into the project to pick it up and you don't get disorganized somehow. So first of all, let's quickly get into our leave folder, make a new directory. I'm going to call this widgets, sorry, widgets, and we're going to make another one. Let's call it screen, just for best practices, right? So screens, and then inside our widget folder, let's make a new .dat file. This .dat file, we're going to call it card, or let's call it payment card. Right, so and then in the screen we're going to also we're going to make another screen here. So let's make a new .dat file, call this one payment screen. So this payment screen is where the widget is going to be like kind of put into, right? So we're going to now be able to use it inside our home right here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove everything that we have here. So let me go ahead and collapse this. So go ahead and remove the home page. So you can see that we have a home page here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. So I'm going to call this payment screen. We don't have this screen yet, so it's going to be created inside this place. So first of all, let's remove this one. Yeah. So since we have just the bare bone application, so let's quickly get into this place and just create it so that we'll have this error removed. So we're going to create a stateless widget. This stateless widget is what we're going to call payment screen, and in that payment screen we're just going to leave it empty. Let's import material here so that this error can actually go away. Okay, now let's go back to the main menu. So we're going to import that payment screen that we just created inside here. So with this, we are actually done with our home screen, right? Our home screen is kind of clean. So let's quickly get back into the cards. But before we get into the cards, we need to set up the screen so that we have like a kind of overall body of the application, and then we run it. So first of all, we're going to return here the scaffold. The scaffold is actually what every Flutter application has, right? So and it's going to start with an app bar, right? We're going to just do an app bar. We don't really need an app bar here in this. Let's focus on the body. So the body of the application is going to now be what we're going to focus on. For us to achieve that, like I said, if you go back to the reference file, you will see that we have here like a column right here. So our main body is going to be in a way that we should be able to place stuff on top of each other. So let's quickly get back to that and make this guy a column. with children. The children is still coming, right? So first of all, let's save this, and let's save this, and add one more thing to the body. We're going to add a scaffold background color, which is going to be the color that we define in the constant. So we're going to call this BG. This BG will be imported from our constant file. So let's add const to this guy right away. So with this, if we run the app, we actually going to have something just more like a skeleton without anything really in it. So in the reference we have, right, I'm not sure, there's a title, so we might need to probably add something. Let's forget about that. You can actually do that already. You know how to do those ones, so that's not a problem. So our focus is on this complex UI here. So we're going to go straight up into creating the individual items. Like I said, right, so this item that we're going to be building needs to live inside a stack for this to be able to happen. So the reason we have a column first is because there's other children inside here. So but the major thing that we're going to be working on, which is this place, right, is going to be a stack. So for us to achieve that, we need to have like a stack. For us to get a stack faster, let's start with a column, and a column normally have children, right? So if you have children, then I'm going to rename it to stack, right? That's it. So just that, and we have a stack ready. Now for us to continue, let's first of all go ahead and make this card. This card is just the bare bone or the main nut and bolt for this project to actually come to life. So let's make a stateless widget again. So we're going to call this payments card. So let's go ahead and also import material here, and let's start with like I said, from here, right, this is a row. This row allows us to put stuff left to right. So that means this is a row. After a row we have a column and probably another row here. So let's quickly get into it. So first of all, because we want our stuff to have a background color, so we're going to wrap everything with a container. Right, so we'll have a container, this container have a child. The child is going to be a row because we want to place stuff left to right. So we go ahead and do children for this row, and let's remove const. Next thing we need to do is to add a little bit of styling and also padding. So let's add a padding of about let's do padding edge insert. All going to do 16. So let's add const everywhere here. What else do we need to do? So we've added that, then we need to add a width to the widget. So we're going to do double the infinity because we want it to actually fill out the screen. So we're going to do double the, let's try max finite, and then on height it's going to be, let's do 200 for now. We're going to do a decoration, box decoration. This box decoration, we want to add the card color that we define inside our constant. So let's go ahead and add color, card color, is that correct? Let's see. Let's check out that. Okay, just card. So we can go ahead and import it from constant. And what else do we need to do here? Okay, so this is just more like the skeleton of the card. So for us to get the card as it is, we need to check what information that the card takes, right? First, the card takes this item 1, which is the USD 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we're going to define names for all these items. So you pay, maybe amount, total balance. So we're going to be taking balance. We're going to be taking amount, and then we're going to be taking total balance, and then the currency. So let's define that as a final field here. Final string balance, final string. So we need to have what was that? Balance. Then we need amount, right? So then we need the final stuff, which is the currency. So let's make everything string currency, right? So so just to make things easy, we are going to be passing the symbols alongside when we're passing the card. So when we're creating the individual card, we're going to pass the symbols to it. So the only thing that is going to be static in our stuff is you pay. Okay. Also, we need to also pass the either it's you pay or you get, right? So 2 ways we can actually do that. We can actually pass a flag, right? If it's a pay, then we can just prefix the pay or get, and everything works out. So just something we need to look through. If it's a real production application, you need to be able to make this card a much reusable, right? So so we could call it it's pay. So we'll just do if it's pay, and then we can pass that as a flag. So we can do here final to is pay. Normally so this is pay. We're going to normally when you have a final variable, so you need to add it here. So if it's pay, we're going to make it to default as false. So let's go to do it as false here, and then we're going to check if it's paid right here. What do we do? So that will just enable us to flip that. You're going to understand what I'm trying to do when we start making the design, right? So maybe our application is actually running right now, but because it's actually dark, nothing is really visible there. So that's one thing that I've seen. So what we can do is let's quickly spin this pay card inside the screen right here. So I'm going to add payments card. All right. Balance, I'm going to do balance is about 715,74565. 745 and it's all in dollars. So let's escape the dollar. The amount is 11,500. 11,500. And then we have dollar, right? So let's escape that as well. Okay, so the currency is USD. So USD here. So that's the basic stuff that we have. So let's see. So you can see that something has showed up on the screen, though even though it's not very much visible because we've not started styling anything. Okay, so I'm going to just do one thing to bring it to the center of the screen. So I'm going to do cross-axis, alignment. Sorry. sorry, that should be the main axis. Okay, just for us to have that visible on the screen. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is that we need to add going back to the cards, so we need to do margin. So we're going to have margin of 16 or 16, right? Then we need to add border radius in the decoration. So down here, border radius. So we have border radius, dot circular. Let's go with 12. Okay. So seems that the height that we gave it is not probably enough. I'm going to do it like 400. That's much. 300. Let's see what it has. Yeah, something around 250. Okay, so 250 is fair. Now let's go ahead and just make it 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste. Now let's save. Okay, yeah, so this is expected, I think, right? So we need to wrap these two items in a column. Sorry. So let's first of all make sure that our design is out before we start fighting the arrangement. So first of all, I need to make sure that the design is perfect. So I'm going to first of all comment this out. Yeah. So let's go back to our payment card and start populating the information down here. So like I said, the first thing we need is to have a column and a row. So here we're going to have a column. That column. Okay, so that was the first child. The second child is probably going to be a container that has a row. So inside here, outside the column, we're going to have a container. This container is going to have a child, and the child is going to be a row. Alright, row add children. Let's go ahead and add a comma here, just so that everything looks as expected. So let me see what the complaint is about. Yeah, sorry, this is supposed to live outside here. Column, this. What's going on? Sorry about that. Something is kind of broken here. So I'm just going to undo. Kind of deleted something by mistake. So let's start with here. This is a column, a row that has a column. Alright, so this column is okay here, but the siblings of this row, yeah, I think it's because of this const value. Yeah. So let's add so we have a container, right, that is going to, this container right here is going to be this one. So it's going to represent this. So let's build it out fast. I'm just going to take this our style, box decoration, and I'm going to add it here. Decoration. First of all, let's add decoration and then paste that. And the color for this one is going to be colors to white. And the height of this is going to be 45. Let's see. Width, let's do 50. Let's do 100. Okay. Yeah. So, but this is not what we want really. Our column, because our column doesn't have children, that's why it's probably making it. So I'm going to wrap this column with expanded so that it takes up the remaining part of the screen, right? So that will go ahead and push this guy to the right. So add constant everywhere just for errors to disappear. So the next thing we need to add here is the USD. So we're going to pass the USD to the child of this row, right? This row has two items. One is the text. It's going to be a text, and this text is going to be the currency. So it's complaining of const. Let's take out the const. Then the next thing is going to be an icon. It's going to be icons dot keyboard arrow down, keyboard arrow down. One of these, I'm going to use the rounded. And then we're going to arrange this by cross-axis alignment. So I mean axis alignment dot space evenly. Yeah. So I'm probably going to make the width of these to be something around 80. Okay, so that's it for this, and we're going to go ahead and make the remaining height. I think the height is also something should be around 40. That's nice. So a little bit of change on the text. So let's see at the style here. So let's use team of context, the text team. So we're going to use body large. Okay, so we're going to make a little bit copy of the theme. I'm going to make font weight to be 400. So because this is nullable, we're going to add nullability check here. So I'm going to go ahead and format. Let's see. Let's do 600. All right, that looks fair. So that's it for the swap. So let's check out this reference again and see if this will be manageable. So let's go ahead and focus on the column. The column is where we're going to be placing items step by step, right? So the first thing we need to do is to add a text. Most of them are actually text. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this text and copy it just for us to save time, right? So I'm going to paste here 3 times. Remember, we'll have different values that are actually pass into it. So we'll have, first of all, the first one is going to be a constant that doesn't change, but we're going to check what if is pay, right? We're going to check if it's pay, and just like kind of utility stuff, right? So I'm going to go get label. So it's going to return let's make this explicit string. Yeah, I'm going to do some check first, so let me just do so we're going to be checking this is pay, right? So let's do is pay. So just quite return. So if it's pay, you are going to return you pay. Else we're going to return you get. Sorry, this is going to be get, I guess. Alright, so our widget is going to be listening to that. So this label is going to be here, somewhere here. So let's do you. Let's see what that. Let's take away the const. So based on what is actually passed, so automatically, because this is false now, so this would be you pay, right? So no, so if this pay is false, then you get this, else you get this. So if it's false, this will be a get, for instance. So I'm going to invert that later. So we get, let me go ahead and copy these out. So we need about 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So let's just do one more. Let's format this so that. So when you format that, the first one is going to be small. You pay, and then the balance, or the amount. Sorry, right? So you this and then amount. So let's pass the amount value here. Amount, and our amount is probably going to have a font size that will be probably larger. So we're going to probably do this title large. I don't know. We're going to look at that when it comes out, and then we're going to do a little bit of separation down below. So after the balance, so let's just do a size box of height. So the height of the size box, let's do some like 8. So I'm gonna save. Let's just see what we have on the screen. Yeah, something probably is wrong. I don't know. It's not showing up. Amount. Then the next thing is expanded children colon. So I'm going to do here cross existence. Not really, that's main axis alignment. Main axis alignment, the space between. Yeah, probably something is wrong that we're not really seeing this on the screen yet, so I'm going to check out what the problem is. But before that, let's add a const here and then get the final stuff. The last item here is going to be total balance and then the balance. So here we have total balance, which is actually a constant, so it doesn't need any checks. Total balance, and then the balance. So let's do a little bit of diagnostic and see why our stuff is not showing up. So if you check out the screen again, we've already passed these values to it, and inside here we have a column, or we'll have a row first, and the row have an expanded. So the expanded because we have columns and columns and the row, right? The container down here. So first of all, let's see. I'm going to make the second one to be expanded. That's this amount. So let me just rapidly read it. It's expanded. It seems to be bigger than others. So we have this row. So let's add color to the fonts, because it looks like the color is probably blending with the background. I don't know. Let's do the colors are white. So you can see that was the problem. So it does look like we don't know what we're doing again. So I'm just going to take the colors, since most of the colors are white, so we're going to be tinting the colors. The first one is kind of gray though. So but the second one, which is the amount, is white. So I'm going to make this guy gray. And then the next item is total balance is gray as well. Gray. And we have the balance, which is white. Or not purely white, really. So we're going to keep it at white for now. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this from being expanded. Okay, so now this is going to, instead of being space between, I'm going to make it space evenly, even though we don't really need that, right? So we just want everything to just be where it is. Yeah, that's what we want. So the only thing we need is probably to add a cross-axis alignment dot center, right? Row. So the gold, where is the axis? The alignment sometimes can be very confusing. So I normally have issues with these alignments, especially if you have kind of multiple rows and columns and then you're trying to align them together. So right now, since we have this arranged, so I'm going to take out this particular row because that's not, we're actually trying to apply that on the column. Okay, so our item is pushed somewhere from the left. Alright, so I'm just going to do this to start. No, that's wrong. Center of the cross axis could be start. Yeah. So right as we have that there, we need to sort of, it looks like we need to sort of push it out a bit. And how do we do that? We can only do that by wrapping this with a container that will enable us to, or wrap it with a padding, either of that, right? So we'll just either of that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this column with a padding widget, and I'm going to do only left. I'm going to do 16. Okay, so that being done, the first thing that we need to do is to increase the value of this. So the second item here, which is our heading large, let me do headline large, still not that big, but that looks like the largest in the list. So we'll have title large, which is probably, the display might be bigger than that. Display large. Okay, so display large or display medium, probably do that. Display medium. Alright, so we're using a display medium for this, and then I think every other thing can remain as it is. Then, but we just need to push this guy a little bit down. So I'm going to use 16 here. Alright, so you can see how we're able to achieve this. Now, the next problem we have is in the other item that we have, because we needed to show all of those items, like I said, as we have in the view hierarchy. So being able to achieve this view, we need to also achieve this view. First of all, for me to show you the second view, I'm going to flip this from stack in our payment screen, because we're actually on a stack right now, it's staying on top of each other. So I'm going to pass this one to now be is pay for is pay. I'm going to make this one to be true, is pay true. Then I'm going to go ahead and change this value 11,280 280, and we have about 2283 23 23 23 8 8 834 23. Right, so you can see that it's actually on top of the order. So how do we achieve this? So we're probably going to be doing more positioning, right? So I'm going to use position widget. So I'm going to do wrap this guy with a widget, positioned, and I'm going to do top. First of all, I'm going to do 0. So let's add this here. Positioned, top 0. Gonna do right 0, left 0. Okay, so I'm going to do let's quickly wrap this guy too in the position widget. So positioned, we quickly copy this, but the focus on this one is going to be on, there'll be no tail, it's going to be bottom. Yeah, something has happened. I think everything has disappeared. Okay, so column I'm going to go ahead and add another child outside the stack, just like a container. Alright, so let's see. So we're going to do bottom here to be, this is the first item, so I'm going to do top for the second one to be about the height of the top here is going to be, let's say, the height of the card, so let's do 200. Yeah, something is not going well, so I'm going to take this off now. Let's actually see if we have errors. Yeah, there seems to be errors. So it said alright, so this child here, I'm going to wrap it with, let's make it to fill up the screen basically for now. Yes, so expanded is always an issue if you don't add it. Okay. So you pay, you get. Let's see what. Do this to be 250. Okay, so I'm still gonna push this top a little bit, let's say 10, just so we have kind of space between the other item. I'm gonna probably do 100. The reason is, yeah. So I'm going to make this at 400. So as we have this way, next thing we're going to be doing is to bring in the other widget that is going to probably be at the center. So this is not necessary. I think the reason that happened was because I needed to actually have the container, sorry, the column to have an expanded, because we have a stack that normally when you have a column and you have a widget that actually takes multiple children, you need to be able to tell it either to fill up the screen or you handle that error that actually occurred. So that's what happened in that case. So the expanded here solved our problem. Now, because we're actually on a stack, we use position widget or aligning to achieve what we want. So I first of all did position for this payment card, right? Remember I said that this is pay, that's why you say you pay and then you get. We've defined something on this place where we said pay, get. If it's pay, return this. If it's this, so in the label it automatically handles that for us, if you can see here. All right, so then total balance as is. If the total balance is as it used to be, then the next thing we need to change here is euro instead of so if we go back to our payments here, instead of USD we're going to have here euro. If you take a look at our reference file, euro, EUR here, and then the symbol is going to be euro. I'm not sure if I have that, but I'm going to use probably pounds for it. So I have euro here. and then we'll have USD. So you pay this, you get this. What else do we need to do? We need to add that last widget. So first of all, how do we achieve that? I'm going to do a container. This container is going to have a height of about 55 and a width of 55. Okay, what's that? Looks like const issue. So we normally have these const issues almost everywhere. So right, we're going to so the remaining thing we need to add is the color. Yeah, so adding the color here, because we're going to add in decoration, so I'm going to leave it out and add it in the box decoration. And also because I'm lazy, right, I'm going to go ahead and go to the cards and take the box decoration here and drop it up here. So, and then the color is going to be the other color, which is our accent color from, so you can see where it is here. So I'm going to use align widget, align. So the alignment is going to be alignment dot center. So let's see where we are. Sorry, that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be inside the stack. Seems I've copied something else. Sorry. Let me take it again. Yeah, from here. Inside the stack. Yeah, so let's download the const. Add const everywhere. I'm going to take you down here. Right, so let's go ahead and align this item, right? So all we're going to do quickly is to push this guy. So we need to get this item somehow to the center. So if you look at our reference, you'll see how it actually centralizes in the center of that object. So that's what we're trying to achieve. And like I said, I'm going to use, or we're going to use actually align widget, which we already have somewhere down below, right? So what we're going to do is let's nudge the size of this guy to about 75 maybe, just to create the size we have. All right, so I'm kind of thinking that we need to take out this up because we don't want to be pushing it so much from the top, right? So we want everything to, since we have like two objects in opposite directions, so we should manage the space from the top and also from the bottom. See what I mean, right? So if you go to the position widget, we're going to remove the top from this. It's going to kind of push it up if you save right now, yeah. So, but that's not a problem. So we need to add a button attribute, and then we're going to do that button to be something like, let's do 185. Yeah, sort of, so that it actually aligns it, and then the other item is going to be on top because it's a stack, and then it's going to actually be at the edge of it. So the next thing we need to do for the other guy is to give this guy as well about 185, right? Let's do 185. 5. So sort of you can see how it started making sense, right? Then the next thing we need to do is to get an icon somewhere. We might not really find an icon that looks exactly like the reference one, so because this probably we would probably have to get it as an image or something, but the one that comes with Flutter, I'm going to kind of create something that looks like that. So we're going to be using 2 icons, but we're going to put it in a row. So how we're going to do that, let's add a child here, and the child is going to be a row. Right, so inside this row we're going to have children. The first icon we're going to add is probably going to be an icon down. Look at the reference again, like this. So let's do an icon, icons dot arrow. So first of all, choose the arrow downward, and let's make a duplicate of that, and then we're going to do an arrow upward. Alright, let's separate it with a comma. Let's add const everywhere. I'm going to save, right? So if you save, you can see that we have that icon showing up small. Let's nudge the size a bit to about 17. But that's kind of not too good. 27. I'm not sure how that's gonna look, but give it a shot. Alright, that looks okay. So we need to add alignment here. So let's do main axis alignment, center here. So you can see that with that we'll be able to get the icon that looks kind of what we're looking for, but that's not exactly how it looks in the reference file. But the overall thing is that we've been able to achieve this kind of complexity, right? Using stack, align widget, and also multiple columns and rows, right? So that's where we actually have it in this particular tutorial. So if you like what you saw, and if this is helpful, right, let me walk you through again. This is the best time to actually click the subscribe button and give this video a like if it actually helps you, if you think what we did is helpful, right? So the most important thing that you need to understand here is that the key determiner of getting this look this way is actually the stack. Alright, so the stack enables you to place stuff on top of each other, and that's why we're able to place this guy here. And what is happening is because the stack, in this particular stack space, this item is using a line, and it's aligned at the center. So that's what you see here. Alright, so and then we'll have position widget. Position widget uses some kind of directions to know where to actually nudge itself, right? So you can see that we have 185 top here. That's why we have up to this space from top. So we also have 185 from bottom. All right, meaning that we can actually be able to place items in this very space. All right, we can be able to actually add items in this place, and then nothing would block that in the stack. So for us to get, if you actually have other items in this very screen, the best thing you're going to do is probably take out this item and probably put it in a separate widget and use that to construct the space it's going to actually take in the overall application. So that means your top and bottom is probably sort of going to be dynamic, right? So because you don't exactly know what is going to fit in the other part of the screen. So but the overall thing is that you understand how to make this particular screen, which is the goal of this video. So if you like what you saw and this video makes sense to you, don't forget to give it a like. And if you're first time and you've not subscribed to our channel,
please kindly subscribe to the channel. That's the only way we can actually understand that what we're doing is working, and then we can keep doing that. And I promise to drop videos really this time around. I've been relenting. It's not because it's intentional, but because of other interruptions as well. But if this video is making sense and people are actually liking it, then we're going to keep dropping videos like this, no matter how small it is. Most of the videos that we drop always hit an hour, and it takes time to actually create them and also get it out for you guys. So I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Cheers. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. If you are not new, YouTube actually said that a lot of people watch our videos and do not subscribe. So if you're one of them, please subscribe.